Lagos State High Court on Thursday ordered that Chidimma Ojukwu's co-suspects to enter defense over the allegations of criminal conspiracy and killing of Super TV CEO, Michael Usifo Ataga on June 16, 2021 when the deceased media personnel had love-making moments with the then 21-years-old Chidimma Ojukwu, who made 3 separate confessional statements. These: 1. She single-handedly stabbed Ataga to death. 2. She unintentionally stabbed Ataga to death in self-defense during a fight. And 3. She knows nothing about Ataga's death, saying she went out of the hotel room to buy something, only to come back and met the Super TV CEO lifeless with bloodstains in the hotel room. Though the prime suspect, Chidimma Ojukwu, did not make any submission when the case came up on Thursday, but the second and third defendants for Usifo Ataga murder case, Chidimma Ojukwu and Adedayo Quadri, on Thursday presented a no-case submission to court, demanding that the court should dismiss all charges against them. But the prosecution team opposed the application, stating that they have presented full evidence to court that implicated the DAO. Chidimma Ojukwu and Adedayo Quadri have been in prison since 2021 when police brought up allegations that show they are fully involved in the murder of Ataga Usifo. Justice Yetunde Adesanya of the Lagos State High Court, sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square on Thursday, ordered the 2 Chidimma Ojukwu's co-suspects to open their defense. She and Quadri are facing the first to 8 counts bordering on conspiracy, murder, and stabbing, while her sister, Ebuchu, is facing the 9th count of stealing an iPhone 7 belonging to the late Ataga. The 2 were alleged to have conspired and murdered Ataga on June 16, 2021, by stabbing him several times with a knife in the neck and chest. The incident occurred at number 19 Adewale Ocean Street, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. According to Punch newspaper, at the resumed hearing of the trial on Thursday, the second and third defendants, who had earlier filed a no-case submission challenging the trial, asked the court to dismiss all charges against them. The second defendant's counsel, Babatunde Busari, and the third defendant's counsel, M.I. Otuaka, argued that the prosecution had failed to establish any material evidence for their clients to enter defense in the case. In his response to the application, the state's prosecution, Yusuf Sule, objected to the submission and urged the court to dismiss the second defendant's no-case submission application. He said, the prosecution has put forward material evidence linking the second defendant to the charges against him. We call upon him to enter his defense. In response to the third defendant's application, the prosecution filed a response on November 27, 2024, as per argument in response to this case. We urge the court to dismiss the application for a no-case submission, as the prosecution has established material evidence of a stolen phone in the case. We, however, call upon the third defendant to enter her defense. Justice Yetunde Adesanya dismissed the no-case submission of the second and third defendants. She ordered them to open their defense. The judge thereafter adjourned the case till February 20, 2025, for continuation of trial. Meanwhile, after nearly 2 years, the autopsy report of Chidimma Ojukwu and Usifo Ataga's murder case was read in court. In line with the testimony of the former Vice-Chancellor of the Lagos State University, Professor John Obafunwa, Usifo Ataga was killed by 2 people and wasn't drugged, as claimed by the police. During cross-examination, Professor Obafunwa stated that the claim by the police that Usifo Ataga was sedated with a death drug, Rohypnol, in a bid to disarm was false. He noted that the quantity of Rohypnol seen in Ataga's bloodstream wasn't enough to sedate him and was insignificant. The forensic pathologist also confirmed that autopsy results revealed that the 2 deadly stabs that killed Ataga were inflicted on his armpit and loss of blood. Professor Obafunwa also noted that a double-edged knife was used during the attack, and there was a high possibility that there were 2 assailants who inflicted the injuries. The former LASU VC further stated that, unlike in other cases, he was unable to visit the crime scene, and the photographs and photos the police sent to him had no connection with the same. He also debunked the claims of the police that Ataga was restrained during the attack. Instead, he noted that he tried to defend himself, which was why he was stabbed in his palm. Professor Obafuma also noted that the attack on Ataga was inflicted by a right-handed person. He said this explains why most of the stab wounds and cuts were to the left side of the victim's body. My first contact with the corpse was in July 2021. Death occurred on the 16th of June 2021. I raised alarm with the police on how to conduct an autopsy after over 3 weeks of death. I went further to ask them, is there no scene to visit? Do you have photographs? I had no opportunity to visit the crime scene. The pictures and videos sent to me by the police have no bearing with the scene. It shows just people drinking at a bar, Professor Obafuma stated. Earlier in 2021, Barrister Franklin Usu, cousin brother to late Super TV CEO, Michael Usifo Ataga, has made statements indicating there is more to the true killer or killers of the media chief executive officer. Barrister Franklin Usu, while speaking in a television program with Crime Fighters reporter, said his cousin brother's hands were tied badly that the rope enters his skin. Barrister Franklin Usu said the suspect, Chidimma Ojukwu, currently helping police in the investigation, could not have been the only one that tied Michael Usifo Ataga and stabbed him to death. Barrister Franklin said Michael Usifo Ataga is the third son out of the 4 children the parents had, adding Usifo Ataga is someone who always liked to do business. He said Michael Usifo Ataga was stabbed at the stomach and the cut was so deep and wide that the mortuary attendant in his presence stuck 2 of his fingers through the hole into the dead body. Franklin said when he looked at the way and manner his cousin brother was stabbed deliberately and repeatedly at the jugular and other parts of the body, he looked at the dead body again 5 times and looked at Chidimma Ojukwu. He concluded it's not possible the 21-year-old lady, as at 2021, was merely the one that carried out the killing. Franklin Usu's statement is considered more important at the moment when many Nigerians and the world were shocked yesterday, 2021, to the media statement credited to the suspected killer, Chidimma Ojukwu, that she knows nothing about the killing of Michael Usifo Ataga. Chidimma Ojukwu, in the most recent interview with Crime Fighters reporter, said she went out to buy some food items and returning to the hotel room, she met Michael Usifo Ataga lifeless on the ground with bloodstains on the bed and other places in the room. She said she could not scream to avoid being arrested. She again admitted that she withdrew money from Ataga bank account via the deceased ATM card after the death has occurred. Chidimma Ojukwu said she changed her clothes before leaving the hotel room on that fateful day because there was blood stain on the former clothes she wore. Chidimma Ojukwu could not give further clarification on how her clothes got stained with blood. It could not also be ascertained if the Crime Fighters reporter was aware of the earlier confessional statements made by Chidimma Ojukwu to other media houses, as there were no questions cross-examining the suspect's former statements and the current U-turn. Osezwe Akondo reports that the suspect Chidimma Ojukwu have submitted 3 versions or accounts over Michael Usifo Ataga death. When Chidimma Ojukwu was paraded before a group of journalists, she admitted killing Michael Usifo Ataga but during a fight. She added that the deceased was even pushing her. Unfortunately, the deceased friend issued a statement dismissing the look at like right to self-defense story of Chidimma Ojukwu, adding that Ataga was tied, forced to provide his company account details and millions of naira was on the process being moved to unknown account until the customer bank blocked the account and terminated the transaction process, and Ataga was subsequently stabbed repeatedly to death. Thereafter, Chidimma Ojukwu, in an interview with NTA reporter, admitted that she tied Michael Usifo Ataga's hands while he was asleep and stabbed him repeatedly to death when argument occurred. The third version, which is the latest of Chidimma Ojukwu accounts, is that she knew nothing about Michael Usifo Ataga's death. She came back to the hotel room and met him lifeless. She secretly left the hotel to avoid arrest.
is Ojukwu Chidimma Adora. Ojukwu Chidimma Adora.
Your name is what?
Ojukwu Chidimma Adora.
Ojukwu Chidimma
Adora.
Adora.
Yeah.
Okay, you're from where?
Abia State.
Abia, which part of Abia?
Arochukwu.
Arochukwu, which part of Arochukwu? Wait. Which part of Arochukwu?
Agbagu. Agbagu.
Abago. Okay. So just tell us what happened so that we don't have to ask you too many questions. We said just roll. Tell us what happened that day. The day you guys checked in, how you met him. Just tell us everything.
And so he asked me to get a shortlet where we can stay. So I got it, and then.
Babe, let her finish. Then what did you know? You ask. That's the only way we can make.
So I checked for it online, and then I sent to him. He said I should go check it out. Then I went to check it out, and then he paid for it. That was how it is that day.
Which day was that?
On Sunday.
Okay, from Sunday, what happened while you were together? Just tell us.
On Monday, we were together, drinking, smoking. We had fun. So I went to get food for all of us, both of us, I mean. And then that was what happened. Then on Tuesday, he was trying to make advances on me, which I was tired, but he became violent on it. So he got his way, which I let him. And then in the afternoon, towards afternoon, we ordered for smoke. And also roofies together. So that was what we took. And then we ate the food that we had on Monday. So we became high, and I wasn't happy for the first one he did, so I was still on my own, just smoking and drinking with my food that I've eaten. So he too was on his own couch. Then he came on to me while I was watching a movie. We were both watching a movie. So he came on to me and I was like, no, that I'm not happy with what you did in the first one. And then I was like, you don't help me, you don't assist me in anything, but yet you just playing with me around. And then he was like, oh, okay, take my ATM now, I can go and withdraw what you want. And then he said the pin. I was like, that's not what I mean. That's not what I meant. So he became violent or trying to get to me, and I was resisting and defending myself. And at some point, he hit my head on the wall, and I also retaliated. And also, at some point, it was choking me, which I was on the kitchen cabinet. I lay on the kitchen cabinet while he was choking me, and then I stretched out the knife, and then I stabbed his neck.
And what else?
Sorry, please hold on.
Usifo is the third son in a family of 4. He has 2 elder brothers and a younger sister, and his siblings, they all live abroad. And Usifo grew up as a child who was raised by very good parents in a Christianly manner, and he's a guy who's always had business in his DNA. He's always liked to do business. But what I'll tell you about Usifo is that Usifo is very respectable. Usifo will never hurt a fly. Usifo loves people. Usifo goes beyond the immediate family to know his cousins, to know his uncles. I've had the very regrettable privilege of seeing that dead body 5 times. My cousin's hands were tied so badly that the rope entered his skin. The rope is right there as an exhibit with the police. That binding could not have been done by that lady alone. Not possible. Even if he was drugged, it is not possible, because I saw the lady and I saw my cousin. I said, this is not possible. Apart from the fact that he was tied, There were multiple stabs on his body. That is correct. Multiple. So that story of 2 stabs and neck is not true. He was stabbed in other places. His leg. In fact, in Yaba mortuary, the attendants were so dramatic that they told us clearly, the stabbing here was so bad that it's a hole. The guy stuck his 2 fingers into my cousin's body in my presence. I am serious. The Doppler vein, he was stabbed here deliberately. So whether he was just stabbed on the neck, no, he was stabbed on the Doppler vein twice. He was stabbed on his body multiply.
He doesn't talk much about himself. He's quite busy, like a busy person. I would say that at some point in time, he got to know that he likes to carry girls, and he smokes, he drinks, and takes drugs also. So I don't know deep about him. His character, he gets angry easily. He has issue with his wife. So, but his children is what is targeted as family man. He wasn't into happy married life or something. He was just more of catering for his kids. I can't remember some of his friends that I've met, but remember their faces kind of really old, their names, but I've met 2 people that I said friends something. I don't have 10 million in my bank account, so I have 400 or 500 accounts. Michael gave me his laptop. He had 2 laptops, so I told him that I wanted laptop, so he gave me one, and that was what I sold to get the money. It was a Mac Pro. I wasn't doing usher when I was with him anymore. I was getting more from him than doing the ushering, so there was no need on ushering. Ushering can be 15K, 20K. It gives me more than the ushering.
What did you plan to do with the money?
The apartment where it was said it was leaking, so then they said I should go. They said it was free and I too was free, so let's fancy. It was Sunday on the 13th. I decided to check online about the shortlets because it said that I didn't want hotel. There will not be Netflix or it will not be fun being in the house or something. So that was when I decided to check for a shortlet. So I sent it to him and he said it was okay. Then he said I should go check the place out. So I checked it and it was okay. Then he made payments. He sent 105. That was for 4 days. After I paid the money, so after 1 hour, he came. When he came, then we went to get food. We went out to eat and also get drinks. And we're just indoor, watching movie, drinking, smoking. He woke up before me, but I was still feeling sleepy and dizzy because of the smoke, drink, and the drug. So he asked what I need, what we need. So I was we need to buy food and drug because the drug that we brought already finished. He sent the money to their account. Why the other one? He gave me the card because I was trying to make payments and it didn't go through. So he gave me the card. I didn't have access to his card, but I know the PIN code. Before I was leaving, he stood up to lock the door. But when I got in, I was knocking. As there was no answer, I opened the door, was already open, it wasn't locked. And the duvet was on the floor, plus pillows. The bed, the couch was facing the door, and the bed was stained with blood already. And the floor where he was blood, and then music was on, the TV was on. The room was already disarranged, like someone broke in. Then I saw him on the floor. I didn't know what to do. I took my things with his thing and left. I was afraid. I didn't know if I have raised alarm, they would have arrested me for doing it because I and him were just the only people in the room. I was, I just left. I was packing my things to leave. Then I noticed that my clothes was stained, so I changed it to another. I took the bag that contained his ID and documents, bank statements. My bag was already on the floor. I met my bag on the floor, and then the stuff it was with was on the TV set. That's where the stuff I took was on the TV set. So I just packed them and just put them into the nylon and left. I took his phone on the following week. I was home, then I went out to withdraw some money from the ATM that I was with. I withdrew 200. Before that day, on Tuesday, he already told me that he's going to give me the money that I requested for. And when I came out, when I was arrested, and they were saying I made away with 5 million naira, there was no 5 million naira in the account. I just did it. It's not like I had something to do with his death. I never had anything to do with his death. The lady that I rented the apartment from, I had to message her that she should please probably send the security guy to check on him. That I haven't heard from him. That's what I said to her. And they came to my house and they arrested me, took me to station. I didn't involve anybody. I don't know who must have come into the apartment. Definitely somebody did that, but I don't know who that person is. I don't know what happened when I left to buy the food. I don't know. Because of the thing I did after not alerting police and then also withdrawing money, I feel guilty for what happened. I did not kill him. I'm not sure whether I did not kill him, but my doings, taking his money and not reporting the police, I believe that somebody knew where we were and then waited till I left before they could enter. The pressure and people, when I was confronting security guy, and it was like, no, nobody entered into the apartment, that it was just me that entered into the apartment. And knowing full well of what I did, withdrawing his money, I just took the blame on myself that since no one believes, let me just take it. No one is influencing my statements. I've not spoken to anybody, my relation or anybody. I've just been in the self since.
Osas Welcome Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.